Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk Joshi episode 21. I'm having some fun, and I know that you're having some fun. You know who else is having fun on episode Talk Joshi number 21? The one and only, my co host, my good friend, one Andy Header.
hmm
Andy Header, how we doing on this fantastic day that we're having, brother?
Yeah, a little cold, but I'm doing good. I got my fancy new background. Of course, we are on YouTube now, so the other room, the lighting isn't the best until I figure that out. So this room has good lighting. So yeah, I'm in my video game room of all places, and feeling good in here. So hopefully looking good. And how are you doing today?
Good as always, buddy. You know me, absolutely fantastic. I got a care package in the mail. Literally
Ooh.
something I forgot that I bought. I saw that these Stardom limited edition hoodies were on sale back in the summer. I forgot that I bought them until they came in, and then I had to pay extra for the shipping because that's what you have to do for Japan from
Yeah,
Japan. So I
exactly.
got my and I put it on social media. I got my Starlight Kid hoodie, which came with one of those towels, like you know how you see the fans like in Cork holding
Yeah.
the towel, like the little towels. I didn't open those up yet. I forgot they came with them. So I got Starlight Kid and Saya Kamatani because it's starting to get hoodie season, and
hmm
it's going to keep me warm on my trip to Japan, which is going to be taking
There you
place
go.
in
It's
about
soon. Yeah.
7 weeks, buddy. 7 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, we're a couple things we still need to hammer down yet, but
hmm
yeah, I mean, it looks like depending on when we land, we're not really sure yet. There may be we obviously the main show we're going to be going to is Dream Queendom in Sumo
Yeah.
Hall. If we get there a little bit early, the day before is Yu's retirement match at Sendai Girls
Ooh.
against Chihiro Hashimoto.
Nice.
I know obviously the general idea is to go to the Korakuen Hall Tokyo Joshi Pro Show, which is all they always do a big show
hmm
on literally right before Wrestle Kingdom. So it's like we'll watch that and then walk. I think it's like 50 yards to the Tokyo Dome. So that's the idea. And then Stardom and Marigold did not make it easy for us because on 1-3, obviously, we're going to be talking about Marigold on the
hmm
3rd of January. Marigold will be running their next pay per view, First Dream, and Stardom is running not one but two shows on the
Oh
same
my.
day. So,
Oh
uh,
my.
depending on what's going on with press passes and certain
Yeah.
things, we may do Stardom in the day and then Marigold in the evening, depending on what's needed for us. But
hmm
going to be loads of fun,
That's
buddy.
awesome
Loads
though.
of
Yeah.
fun. But yes, we are now on YouTube. Talk Joshi is exclusive on
hmm
YouTube. So Andy Header decided I'm going to have the best room possible, his video game room, which
That's right. Yeah.
I did see a preview of years ago when you first moved into that house, about
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago. I do need to put over a lot of things. One, I love the Incredible Hulk, the purple pants that
Plushie.
go with the background. Two, you have my favorite fighting game of all time, and maybe my favorite game of all time that's not WrestleFest, Street Fighter 2.
Oh, yep.
Yes,
And I
back
believe
in the
that's straight Street Fighter, not even Championship Edition or Turbo. That's just the original eight fighters, and that's it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that game for the first time when I was like 7 or 8 years old at Walmart. They had I'm like,
Oh
"What
wow.
is this?" And I
Yeah.
got really hooked on Street Fighter 2, and actually for Christmas, the one year me and my brother got the Super Nintendo and the original Street Fighter 2, and I
Wow.
spent a lot I basically say Street Fighter 2 got me off the honor roll. When I was actually really smart. I used to be on the honor roll all the time, and then once I got a Super Nintendo and Street Fighter 2, that
It's all
was
over.
that was it for me. Andy Header, again, this is we're on these shows are now going to be on YouTube. Andy Header, if you
hmm
don't mind, can you show our fantastic viewers what you just showed me about 2 minutes ago before we hit the record button? Can you take the and show everybody your quick
Yeah.
preview of the Andy Header video game room? Go ahead,
Sure.
there, buddy.
So I am currently in my video game room. I have a comic room as well as a video game room. That's what you do when you live by yourself. But anyway, I'm gonna pan this around. You can see the games for all the different systems. I will not be able to see my camera as I do this, so I'm just gonna go with it. So over here, there's some 360 games. Then we go over. There's some PlayStation 2, 3, some Genesis games. There's my TV. There's some PlayStation 1
Is that
games,
Sonic
GameCube
in the ring?
games.
Is that Sonic in the ring?
Yes, it is. And it's right there. It's the Sonic 2 poster. Ninja Turtles, the arcade game thing, Chrono Trigger. We got Deadpool up there, big Assassin's Creed, Princess Peach clock. We got a little Alexa Bliss and Sabrina over there, Rockstar thing. And oh yeah, I gotta show the Zelda Sword and Shield hanging on the wall up there for Link's Sword and Shield, the Master Sword. So yeah, this room is all done up. When I moved in, this room was painted white, and there was absolutely nothing in it. And I took the light switch off, and I noticed that it was painted purple underneath the light switch. I'm like, who would paint a purple room white? I'm gonna paint it purple again. So I did, and I was like, this is gonna be my video game room. So there's the tour of my video game room. Oh yeah, and there was a giant Pokemon poster on the wall. And speaking of giant Pokemon, this is pretty cool. Yeah, that's
Now, who,
Gengar right there. That was a Walmart Black Friday deal for 20 bucks.
Andy Header, did I see an Epic Mickey plush, the character from Epic Mickey?
Yeah, it's actually I forget his name. It's Oswald. So it's like the pre Mickey Mouse plushie. So it was like before Mickey Mouse, there was this Oswald guy, which is basically just Mickey Mouse. But yeah, it's like the epic Mickey one. So he's sitting there with I think a Brian from Family Guy dressed as a banana. I get all types of different plushies, especially if like people give them to me. Like, yeah, I'll take them. So send them around. Why not?
Well, there you go. And Andy had actually taught me that you can use your camera to pan the other room. So,
Mm-hmm.
what I will do on a future episode of Talk Joshi for you YouTube viewers, I will show you the other stuff that's going on this side of the room because this side of the room still has not been done. And I do have the World and Wonder of Stardom Championships right here, which I did mention on last week's episode of the Stardom Cast. When I leave the door open when I'm here to do homework, obviously I shut it when I'm recording. Ace will come in and try to become Wonder of Stardom champion. He literally will. He does one of two things. He either comes in and knocks the garbage can over and tries to eat paper. I don't know what his obsession with paper is because we get him all the really good cat food. So he'll
Yeah.
do that, or he'll come over and he'll try to rip down the. Now he doesn't go to the world, and they're right by each other. He doesn't go to the red belt. He goes to the white belt. Like he
Hmm.
wants to
Makes
become.
me wonder.
He wants to be. Yeah, maybe he wants to beat Starlight Kid. You know, that's what it is.
There you go. I mean, her
That's
mask is cat-like, so there you go.
yeah.
Ace wants to be just like SLK. Not bad.
Speaking of which, did I show you this Starlight Kid that I've been trying to get for 2 years, and I've actually found a good deal on it?
Oh no, that's awesome. It's
It's
the one
like a
that's
pop, it's like a
like a
pop figure. Yeah.
yeah, like a vinyl. I know in Japan they call them sofubis. A lot of times it's Godzilla and monsters and stuff. But that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I was looking for this obviously with the Oedo Tai days. I think I was trying to get this back in 2022 or 2023 when it first came out. And they like I didn't even care how much it cost. Because they do the yen thing and I'm like, I don't care, I want one. And then I just
Yeah.
couldn't find one. I got that one on a really good deal. Literally the point where because obviously as you know with the tariffs and everything
Hmm.
going on in our country, I paid more for shipping than I did for the actual product.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
So
But
my original thing was when I bought it and I already hit the paid button, I'm like, oh no, because I got it for such a great price that I thought it was gonna be all damaged, and it's really not. If I was gonna
it looks great.
CGC that, probably like a 9.5, you know.
Yeah, you can see anything nowadays.
Yeah, you really can. Andy Header, obviously, we have a lot of great stuff on the docket today. We're going to be talking about the Sendai Girls show from Sendai Pit from the 17th of October that had the two semifinal matches of the Jaja Uma tournament, not
Hmm.
to be confused with the Jaja Banks tournament that I used to call it. Obviously, and then that main event of one of the best tag matches you'll see in all of wrestling with
Hmm.
Bob Momo Banana versus Red Energy. And then, folks, we're going to be doing a little bit of bonus talk. We're going to be talking about the last 5 matches from Tokyo Joshi Pro's Grand Princess show from 316. Oh, hell
Oh,
yeah.
oh
Early
yeah.
this year in Ode Award City Gym. Obviously, I do want to talk about some stardom. I definitely want to talk about some Marigold because
Hmm.
Marigold had the shows this past weekend. But before we get into Marigold, speaking of shows this weekend, Andy Header, you were back in the ring this past weekend, wrestling some really big names on the Northeast Independents. Just
Hmm.
want to just kind of just go. I know, obviously, me and you talked off air with some text messages, but where's the show? How did the show go? Give us the highlights. Give us the details, good sir.
Sure. So AXW, American X Wrestling, was had returned. Well, actually, the first time it was the return show. It was in the casino, Valley Forge Casino. So right outside Philly, about half an hour outside Philly. And there was a veteran con, like in the bottom of it. Which not, I mean, nothing against veterans, but not as cool as our Comic Con. But a lot of veterans were there. The one guy that we used to do shows with, do you remember JP Howitzer? I forget. He had like an army gimmick tag team.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, he's been in the Marines or something. I forget. He's been in the military service for all his life. So he was putting it together, and he got with AXW to get the show at the con. And there was like they did like they raised money for veterans and stuff like that. So it was really cool that they did that. I know that this show was called like Salute to the Troops or something along those lines. But anyway,
awesome.
he wrestled too. He was in a 6-man tag. He's doing good. I know he moved to Texas or something. He did some shows in Mexico, so he was telling me it was a crazy story, like all the places he's been, and like he was telling me one time he had to like hide his wallet and he took it to the ring with him and everything. So it was some shady shows, but anyway, this show was not shady. It was pretty cool. I was in the first match, and it was me. It was four-way versus Griffin McCoy versus Leo Sparrow versus Junie Underwood. So four-way, and the winner got a shot at Tommy Vex. a national heritage championship. Think back to the old NWA and the heritage championship. But anyway, wouldn't have got a shot at that. So it was the first match. It worked really well, except I got in the corner. I'm thinking if I tell you this, Judy did the thing where he put me in the corner, and I took the tree of woe, and I'm there, and he gives me a drop kick. Well, super kick and then drop kick. Somehow, the kick hit me, and my mouth closed down, and I chipped this one tooth, which you probably can't see it. If I zoom in, like it's like right
Oh
here.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit, and I was like, immediately when it happened, I go chip my tooth, and I rolled over, and the ref nothing against the ref, not the best ref. I was like, hey, I think my tooth. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna let it go because he ain't gonna help here. So uh, it had that, but other than that, the match went good. We did a cool Tower Doom spot, and I was messing you beforehand, and I said I'm gonna steal a little SLK thing when she slides in and trips to start the Tower of Doom, the normal superplex powerbomb, or superplex powerbomb. So that was pretty cool. A lot of people in the back were like, "Hey, where'd you come up with that?" I'm like, "Well, I seen Starlight Kid do it in Stardom." I'm like, "Oh, who's that?" So but yeah, I did that. We did a couple other things. I wanted to do the one Sayori Poi spot, but we couldn't get it in. But it was just still a good match. Unfortunately, I did not win, but hey, I didn't get pinned. So you know, didn't get the title shot, but no big deal. Leo won, and then Tommy came out and he beat up Leo. So there was a little bit of shenanigans, but it was a good show. Probably about 150 to 200 people that came out for the show. Not AXW's normal place because we normally run in the Hamburg Fieldhouse, the legendary Hamburg Fieldhouse. So it was a little bit different, but it was a fun time. One of them shows where I got home late, I think from Valley Forge. I think it ran a little late. Usually we get done like 9:30, but we got done 10:30, and then about an hour and a half drive home, and then we stopped for a little bit of food. So I think I got home sometime around 12:45. So it's been a while since I did that from a show because usually they're kind of close. But it was fun. It was a fun time wrestling. Three other guys are really good. Even when we got there, we're like, I'm looking forward to this. And everyone's like, I'm looking forward to it too. It's like, what do you want to do? It's like, whatever, let's do it all. So it was a good time.
There you go. Yes, Andy had did message me and he said this is the Starlight Kid spot that I'm going to do, and I said yes, that is a Stardom spot, but it isn't. And I did correct him, and I'm going to correct him again. It was actually Natsupoi that has done
Oh,
that
that's the
spot
point.
a
I thought it
time
was
or two.
Starlight Kid. Yeah.
And in the go-to match, and again, folks, if you have, we know there's new watchers and listeners to Talk Joshi and the Stardom Cast and Stardom. If you go to All Star Grand Queendom 2023, the match that the spot that he's referencing, and Natsupoi's done it quite a bit, but this is the go-to match. It is Artists of Stardom Championships as Prominence, Risa Sera, Suzu Suzuki, and Karuma Haraki taking on Kairi, Natsupoi, and Soriano. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the spot because when Natsupoi did it, she realized I think it was Kairi that was caught in the superplex, and she's like, "Why would I do that to my own
Yeah.
teammate?" Obviously, Andy Header, it's every man for themselves. So
Yeah.
the
So it makes
psychology, it's a
sense.
cool looking spot. So the
Mm-hmm.
psychology of it makes sense. That darn Natsupoi, she just does
Yeah.
that darn fantastic Natsupoi.
I should have told Junie, can you do this after? Why? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. You know what? This is a great segue. Speaking of Natsupoi, let's talk about the main event of the Sariism show that has just been announced.
Mm-hmm. How
As it
about it?
is I guess after you try to murder each other, you may as well be a tag team as Sari and Suzu Suzuki, who almost
Mm-hmm.
committed a felony against each other back about 2 months ago at the Stardom to the World show. They're going to be teaming to taking on the team of Chihiro Hashimoto and Natsupoi. And now that I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned it, speaking of people that have almost murdered each other, how many times have we seen Chihiro Hashimoto throw Natsupoi around with that
Yeah.
that, that Everest Gary Albright style German suplex? So what a phenomenal, and this is
I
coming up.
know.
We're just about 12 or 13 days away. What a phenomenal tag match that is going to be again. Sari and Suzu Suzuki taking on Natsupoi and Chihiro Hashimoto.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Sign me up. I see you sent me that, and I was like, whoa. And then I was like, did you see this one? And then let's see if I can remember it right. It's Bozilla and Venny versus oh, what is it? What is that? The next tag match? I'm blanking now.
I'm actually going to look it up right now because I
Yeah.
know there is a tag match with Miku Kunai and Chi-Chi taking on, I believe it is Ronda Yugami and Akira.
Yes.
I believe that's what it is, but I'm going to look up.
And Yuriki Oka has a singles match. I think they only announced 4 or 5 matches so far, but they all look really good. I'm looking forward to that main event. It's gonna be killer. I mean, Suzu and Serena on one team, and then oh man, just then Natsupoi
It's
like
it's
that's gonna be good.
Venny and Nightshade, which we'll be talking about Nightshade
Yes.
in a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
taking on Bozilla and Akira Ito. If you remember, Ito was the one. She's basically Dump Matsumoto's handler when she's may or may not be Zap, winking into the
Mm-hmm.
camera. But if you remember, she was teamed with Aja Kong to take on Mel Tier at last year's All Star Grand Queendom. An absolute overachieving match. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Rana Yagami and Akira Kuragami taking on Miku Kanai and Chi-Chi, which is going to be really good, and the Eureka
Hmm.
Oka taking on a wrestler that I've never seen wrestle
Yeah,
before. So they
I
only do about 4 or 5 matches on these shows.
yeah
I'm shocked no Jaguar Yokota on this show.
yeah. She's usually
Usually,
on
she's usually on those.
unless
Yeah,
unless they throw a six man. So it's very heavy on tag matches. But I remember the first Sarism match or show we reviewed was the main event tag match that was awesome with Sari and Benny and who else was in that? I forget, but it
Mayu.
was awesome. Maya was in it. It was awesome, and Chihiro. So yeah, that was an awesome match, and that was the first one we reviewed. So I have no doubts this main event will be great.
Yeah, they did one where it was Natsupoi and Suri versus Azumi and Takumi Iroha. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. And then the next one, I believe it was the next one, was Suri and Mayu Utani versus Veni and Chihiro Hashimoto. And I remember like this is gonna be great, but you literally have two of the best wrestlers on one side. Why wouldn't you split that up? And then you see the way the match builds and the psychology. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
all right. And like they're never going to be able to outdo that one. And then, in my opinion, they wind up outdoing it about 9 months later with Suri versus Shuri back at March. So Suri has really set the bar high for these main events. I have no doubt. Like
Hmm.
you're going to see some Suzu Suzuki versus Chihiro Hashimoto violence,
Yeah.
which I'm
How about it?
really excited for. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting. And not only that, but they're obviously Suri and Chihiro Hashimoto have this long-standing feud, and I know they're going to. Chihiro Hashimoto is actually having her 15th anniversary show. I believe it's the 17th of November, and the main event is singles match: Chihiro Hashimoto versus Suri. So obviously, again,
Mm.
we will definitely be reviewing that show on
Yeah.
Talk Joshi.
There's a
Um,
lot of good shows coming up.
a lot of great stuff. A lot of great stuff. Andy Header, speaking of great shows, let's talk
Hmm.
about a absolutely fantastic show from Dream Star
Yes.
Fighting Marigold. About 3,500 people packed Ryogoku Kakakigan Sumo Hall. Obviously, a great show from start to finish, but the main event is still having people talking. Io Shirai, also known as Io Sky, taking on Mayu Iwatani, a
Hmm.
match that we did not think we were ever going to see again. Not only did we get to see it, both these wrestlers still very much in their prime.
Yes.
What do you think about this match and any other matches that you saw on this monster card from this past weekend?
Yeah, so this I've seen most of the show and it was very good. I did like the surprises of Major Star S and Major Star M with Minoru Suzuki and Sari. That was pretty cool to see them. Uh, we'll get to the main event. Yeah, Utami versus Yuki Ayano. Yeah, I'm gonna say Yuki Arai. Yuki Ayano. That was
Miko Anna.
Miku. Yeah, sorry, got confused. That was
Gotcha.
really good. It was a little weird. I know how you guys did it on the show that she beat Utami with her own move, which I was like, that's kind of a little weird. Kind of
That
feels
she's
like
never
Utami.
done before. That
Yeah,
she's never done before. It was
kind of
weird.
feels like Utami's leaving there, but I don't know nothing, but hopefully not. But Utami's gear looks fantastic there. The whole show from what I've seen, I got to go back and watch the national title. Is that what it's called?
Oh, the
The
United Nationals, like
Yeah,
their
yeah,
version
United
of the
National. Yeah,
Wipeout.
yeah,
My
I have
opinion,
to.
these I think as much as I liked Miko Ano versus Utami, I thought that Yuzuki and Mai Sakurai was just a little bit better. Yeah, that was
Oh wow.
fantastic, buddy. And then definitely take time to go see Magenta
Yes,
versus
I seen
Misa
that.
Mets. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
go.
I
I'm
thought that
sorry.
was
I go
and
ahead,
Misa
continue,
and
good
then
man.
they win the tag belts. Yes, I was gonna say the tag match was very good. I like that, and they were saying, "Oh, we'll Magenta come back here to Marigold, or are they done?" Because they're mainly Marvelous, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that was very good. What was the match? Oh, that was uh, but Chikagoto versus Sari. I like Chikagoto's hair, which I totally blanked on when I did best hair. I'm like, she might have won. Sure, her gear looked really good. But then we got the main event, Io versus Mayu, which was come on, just a little bit all right. No, it was a great match. 5 stars all around. I mean, so good. Io took Mayu's poison Rana off the top rope, which was awesome. And then actually Kelly was watching the last like 2 or 3 minutes with it, and Io hit the one moonsault. Well, she hits the one that Mayu kicks out of before, and she's like, "Oh, that's probably it." And I'm like, "Nah, that's probably she's gonna kick out of that one." And then she hits the next one. Well, first she hits a tombstone. I'm like, "Now it's over." And she hits one tombstone or one moonsault, and then the second moonsault. I'm like, "Yeah, it's over now." But yeah, it's a great match all around. And then, like you guys said on the podcast, Mayu did look a little nervous wrestling Io. But I mean, it's been years, and Io's a huge star now. But like, Mayu's a huge star too in Japan. So it was too like you arguably the best women wrestlers in the world today, top five, wrestling each other in the Marigold main event, and it was great. So as you watch one match from that, go back and watch that. Watch Utami versus Miku. That was really good. And then the Unite, you said the Unite National match, which I haven't watched, but I will watch. It was really good too. You said so. It was a great show from what I seen, and Marigold fired on all cylinders here. And then we got to say at the end, the Thunder Rock proposed return. Mayu asked Io to bring back Thunder Rock to do the pose on the cover of Weekly Pro Wrest. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a tag match in the future at upcoming Marigold because now they're gonna have 5 pay-per-views a year.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be for the
Or
Mayu.
fourth.
Yeah, the Mayu show is gonna be like just like a special on Wrestle Universe.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so yeah, they're gonna go with First Dream, which is gonna be on the 3rd of January, and then they're going to be doing Shine Forever, which is gonna be in May. They're going to be Summer Destiny, which is going to be the end of this, or the beginning of the summer, which is going to lead. It's basically going to bridge. Summer Destiny is going to be the beginning of the summer, and then Grand Destiny is going to be like in the beginning of fall, like kind of right
Okay.
now. So then that's basically Summer Destiny and Grand Destiny is going to bridge the Dream Star. So then you'll have that, which is that's really great stuff because again, you got your big pay-per-view at the beginning of the year, and again, 2 weeks after that, we have the Mayu 15th anniversary show, and then we're basically just going to build towards the big show in the spring, the end of May, Shine Forever, and then not Shine Forever, excuse me,
Trying to think.
the Passion Forever show. Yeah,
Okay.
the show in May, and then you're going to have the pay per view at the beginning of the summer, and then you're going to have the entire tournament of the Dream Star, and then you're going to have Grand Destiny. Now they are going to basically running every single pay per view with the exception of Grand Destiny is going to be running Oda Ward. So they're going
Oh,
to do
okay.
all those shows in Oda Ward, and then Grand Destiny is going to be in Sumo Hall. So my guess that's going to be their WrestleMania,
Oh,
because
nice.
that's the biggest venue. So you know what, Andy, I was thinking about this because it really seems like the whole like if we need to try to draw over 3,000 people every show towards Grand Destiny, and bringing EO in once a year is going to help that. But if
Hmm.
they tease Thunder Rock, it's like, and we were asked when we did our podcast, if they tease Thunder Rock and that's what the match is going to be, who do you team them up against? And like, you never know who's going to get hot at a
Yeah.
right time. Like Stunning Steve Austin was always a great wrestler that was over a little, but then he
Hmm.
he exploded when he became Stone Cold.
Yeah.
The Rock was always pretty. Rocky Maivia was always really good until you find that Rock character. So you don't know what tag team, what two singles wrestlers going to explode into the scene over the next year. And then I thought about this the next day after we did our live review, and I'm going to throw this at you, is that there is no bad blood with Rossi and Taro Okada. They seem to get
Hmm.
along really well, and they both said, hey, if the time's right and it makes sense, let's do a program together. Like, why can't we work together? Like, why not? EO did make mention in the ring and in a backstage promo how much she's enjoying the growth of all the wrestlers in Marigold and some of the wrestlers in Stardom. And the two she made mention were Momo Watanabe and Azumi. Obviously, Momo
Mm.
Watanabe is the person that EO literally passed the torch to. And by torch, I mean Wonder of Stardom Championship
Hmm.
and the ownership of Queen's Quest before she walked out the door. And Azumi was part of Queen's Quest when EO was there, and Izumi was like 14, 15
Yeah.
years
It's
old.
crazy.
So I was thinking it was crazy. And we've seen some wild, who would have ever thought we would see Mayu versus EO again? Like I'm at a point where it's like, I'm
Hmm.
never going to say never, like who would have thought we would see this and this and this? What's not to say that next year at Grand Destiny, we don't have Thunder Rock versus Momo Oz?
Think you
Like,
would?
and
Yeah.
the fact that they're kind of planting the seeds of this Momo face turn, and maybe we're doing something back where we're bringing back Queen's Quest, which is EO started. Again, we have a year to maybe figure this out. And who wouldn't want to see Mayu and Io versus Momo and Azumi? I think that would be great for Marigold. It'd be
Hmm.
great for Stardom. It would be great for Mayu and Io. It would be great for Momo and Azumi. But most importantly, it would be great for the fans. It would
Yes.
be great for the fans. So it's a real again. Outside of resurrecting like Andre the Giant, I know I'm not taking anything off the table when it comes to
Yeah,
pro wrestling.
anything can happen now because the referee from Stardom did the main event for Marigold, which is pretty cool. And Sari's doing both, and I'm sure if they really hate each other, like you do that, you ain't coming back, like back in the day in American wrestling. So yeah, I could see that happening. But I just popped one popped in my head.
Sure.
Utami lost the world title, so she don't have the world title anymore. What if she turns heel? Right? You see where I'm going? See where I'm going? And then the main event is Thunder Rock versus Utami, and she's gonna get a partner. Well, she had a tag team called Aphrodite, Saya Kamatani. Oh my God, Saya Kamatani, Utami versus Mayu and Io. That might be the greatest tag match ever happened with four of the best women wrestlers right now, four of the best women wrestlers ever. Like, what about that?
I like my idea. I like your idea. Now,
Yeah,
literally to the point where if it's like Spark Rush, like that'll be great. But like, man, we thought about this a year ago that it was going to
yeah,
be. Oh man, even like FWC would be great.
yeah, yeah.
Bob Momo Banana would be great. Obviously, that's your
I'd
team,
still
and we're
like
going to
that.
get
Yeah.
into that. But as far as draws go, what we just said would make a Momo and Azumi, Momo
Hmm.
Oz. Again, you had the Queen's Quest thing there, and then yeah, you got Saya and Utami. You still have the Queen's Quest thing there.
Yeah.
Obviously, there'd be more of a story with Momo Oz
Yes.
because Iya or Izumi and Momo were in Utami, or Io's, or excuse me, Momo and Izumi were in Io's Queen's Quest, where Utami and Saya weren't. That was Momo's Queen's
Yeah.
Quest, but still and it can happen. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part.
It's not crazy here, and you think maybe WWE sends over somebody else too, and not just Kyrie. Maybe like what if they sent over Rhea to work Marigold's big show? Like that'd be awesome. Like, and you never
Yeah,
know. You never know.
that would be the only thing is that when they send them over, Rossio Gal fits the bill. This
Yeah.
isn't something where it's just like, oh, hey, we're gonna send them over. No, he has to pay the rate. So,
Which
and again,
is
3,500 people in Sumo Hall is a great number, but Sumo Hall, from what we understand, is a very expensive venue to run. And then you're throwing in the production cost, which the production
yeah.
cost was phenomenal on the
Hmm.
show. And then it's like we got to pay Io, and then maybe a Rhea Ripley, which obviously I love Io, but Rhea Ripley is one of the biggest stars, male or female, in the biggest wrestling company. I don't know if there's
Hmm.
4 or 5 bigger stars in all of wrestling than Rhea
Yeah.
Ripley. So I have a feeling that her price tag would be higher than Io's.
Yeah.
So
Unless she
you probably,
wants to do it and gives a deal, or but who knows with the WWE? But you never know.
yeah. Again, you
You make
never
good points.
like Beetlejuice says, you never know. But man, I would be super excited if it is if they do Thunder Rock versus anybody, because would never think that we would get a Thunder Rock match before, like
Yeah.
another, clearly they promoted it very heavily at the end of the show. They did the
Hmm.
pose weekly cover Pro Wrestling Magazine. So clearly, like that's where we're, because I remember them when the match ended. I'm like, okay, like they did say, I think halfway through the show, that hey, we're going to be doing Grand Destiny every year, and it's going to be in this building. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like you're gonna need, again, 3,500 4,000 people, so you're gonna need a big draw. Obviously, bringing EO back once a year is a big thing, but after you did Utami last year, you did Mayu this year. What's left? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Thunder Rock would make sense.
Hmm.
And tag team wrestling does draw really well, especially in Japan. But it's like, who's their opponents? And again, can
Yeah.
somebody get hot in a year? Absolutely,
Yeah. You never
of
know.
course. But again, the fact that Barb did ref the match, and to Mr. Okada's blessing, and he said, make sure you take care of Mayu, and we're supporting Mayu, just goes to show that there is a possible working relationship with Marigold and Stardom. And the fact that EO does come in once a year to do this, so we can see EO maybe dipping her foot in the pool. I mean, who knows? Who knows? So it's
Hmm.
just the only thing, the politics thing that would stop this. And I had this conversation with my friends at the comic shop where I said, professional wrestling companies shouldn't be in competition with each other. There's no reason why they all should win. There's no reason why they all can't win and all draw really
Hmm.
well. And they basically did say, and I'm sure, partner, you'll agree with this, and our fans will agree with this, is it seems like the only two companies that are in competition with each other, the two big ones, WWE and AEW.
That's it.
WWE obviously is working with Marigold, and again, because they send Eva over, and obviously we know Starman's working with AEW. So it's like indirectly, would they put their foot down on
Yeah,
that? That we
yeah. You
don't
never
know.
know. There might be a little heat there. Hopefully not, but yeah, that would probably be the only thing. More so probably on WWE's side. I think they'd be the ones not willing, but you never know because they like 10 years ago, like you wouldn't believe they would send if he was there 10 years ago, send her anywhere. They wouldn't send
Sure.
anyone outside WWE, and they sent Nakamura to what was it?
Noah.
No, yes. So yeah, they're doing stuff. So it's not impossible.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. My only thing is, it's just like, okay, we're sending EO over, and I'm sure, like when they're like, we're sending our talent over to Japan, who are they working? Because they need
Yeah,
to make sure
yeah,
it's somebody. So it's like, okay, well, they're going to be. We're sending our team with Mayu, and I could see Triple H being great. Mayu's great. They're working Momo and Azumi. Oh, I never seen them wrestle before. I'm sure he has, because they're great. Like
yeah,
they work for Stardom. Like, doesn't Stardom have that working relationship with AEW? And he kiboshes it.
yeah.
I
Like
can see
oh.
that happening, but at the same time, I think it's more of a possibility that in a year's time, I can see maybe January, February, March that everybody sits down and be like, look, at the end of the day, what's best for the wrestling fans?
Yeah.
Thunder Rock versus Momo Oz or Thunder Rock versus well, I could see Utami and Saya, but you're throwing a heel Utami in there. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
it's worked for Saya. Like Saya's always had this great chemistry and this great aura. She's another level now that she's,
Hmm.
she's the dark, basically she's the Phoenix Queen. What if we obviously in Utami's aura is just next level? And I totally agree, probably the best gear on that show. And that
Hmm.
was maybe the greatest new gear show in the history of
Yeah, there was
professional
a lot of
wrestling.
good stuff there.
Great new gear. So it's just like, what if we turn Utami a little heel? I'm like,
Mm, never
buddy,
know.
we shall
Yeah.
see. Andy Header, again, you didn't even realize you did it. The second time in this podcast, you gave me a segue. Sari
Oh.
did work, obviously Marigold, and then work
Hmm.
Stardom the next day. Yes, she's a freelancer and is being the smartest person on it. Now they have again, we are about 9 days away from the start of the Goddess of Stardom Tag League with no teams announced.
Maybe FWC.
Yes, because they will be back from Mexico because they did announce Hazuki's match for the pay-per-view on Monday, which I don't know if you heard. Are you up to date on any of the Stardom stuff, good sir?
No, I'm behind. So
We are going to run right through it. So in
okay,
Cork
go
and
ahead.
Hall, there was a great tag match. I think it was my favorite match of the Cork and Hall show, where it was Soriano and Yuna Mizumori taking on Miku Kanai and Sari.
Mm,
A great match. I thought they were going to set up Soriano and Sari for the Sarism show, which obviously they didn't, but they
yeah.
may have set that up for Dream Queendom. So I know there's a
Mm,
lot of
I'll
rumors that it's
take
going
it.
to be Sari versus either Soriano or Sari versus Natsupoi in the singles match at Sumo Hall. Heads you win, tails you win, buddy. That's
Yeah,
all I'm going
yeah.
to say.
Either or
After
there.
the after the match ended with a very violent Uranagi from Suri to Yuna Mizumori. After the match in a backstage segment, no, I think it was a backstage segment and an in-ring interview that Miku Kunai asked Suri to team with her in the Goddess of Stardom Tag League.
Mm,
So it is heavily rumored and more than likely will happen that Suri and Miku Kunai will be a tag team in this year's Goddess of Stardom Tag League. Now I know all of the Joshi fan base was like, "Oh my God, we're getting Suri in the Gods of Stardom Tag League." Yes, that's great. Don't get me wrong, it's phenomenal. But a big spotlight for Miku Kunai, who we talk about quite a
hmm.
bit on Talk Joshi. So I'm super excited for that. I did watch some of actually a lot of FWC in CMLL. Really great stuff. Hazuki got over like $1 million.
Hmm.
She really did. And folks, if you've not got a chance to see it, definitely watch that 7-on-7 Grand Prix match. It was basically Team World versus Team CMLL. CMLL and Stardom do have a working relationship, which Rob and I will have discussed on the Stardom cast
Hmm.
this earlier this week. But the one of the great things when that Grand Prix, Shoko Nakajima, in my opinion, was the MVP of the
Oh,
tournament,
nice.
and I was thoroughly impressed with Sky Blue and Julia Hart. And
Oh
I've
wow.
always liked them. But considering you're on the same team of Mina Shirakawa, Tekla, FWC, Shoko Nakajima, that's next level talent.
Yeah.
Julia Hart
Yeah.
and Sky Blue absolutely brought up their game.
Wow.
They were fun. I would love to see them maybe in the Goddess of Stardom Tag League, Andy Header.
I mean, they're not
So
doing anything with them, so yeah. Why not? I mean, how many teams are in it? Do you know offhand? Is it gonna be
no, they
10 or
didn't
12 or?
announce yet. They didn't announce
Oh, they
yet.
didn't
So who
announce how
knows?
many. Wow.
No,
Well, that
only a
has to be
few.
coming within days because I mean it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be what,
Hopefully
less than two
soon.
weeks.
Hopefully soon. Now they did announce again. I wasn't sure. I was like, man, I hope FWC is in this tournament because obviously they're worldwide FWC.
Hmm.
We do know that they will be back in Stardom because May Sarah will be defending the High Speed Championship this Monday against Hazuki. So
Ooh,
yes, that is going to be
I'm gonna
fantastic.
watch
So
that one.
super excited for that show. So obviously the main event is Sai Kamatani versus Momo Watanabe for both the New Japan Strong Championship and obviously most importantly the World of Stardom Championship.
Hmm.
Semi-main event Kunami getting another crack at Starlight Kid's Wonder of Stardom Championship. And what is going to be the most entertaining match maybe in the history of pro wrestling? Saki Kashima versus Bozilla.
I see
Um,
that. Saki posted something like where she's like, I don't want the match to happen. You've seen that? That was pretty funny.
It's going to happen. Yes, and then they did. Macer had a great high speed championship match with Waka in the semi main event of the Cork and Hall show, and then basically said she wants to wrestle Hazuki. If you do remember back at Supreme Fight 2024, Hazuki and Macer wrestled for the high speed championship. Went to a 15-minute time limit draw.
Hmm.
One of the best high speed championship matches you'll ever see. The crazy thing is that Macer is better now than she was then.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
so is Hazuki. And Hazuki's is having a lot. Again, the fact that she's wrestled for CMLL. And again, partner, I don't watch a lot of lucha just because it's super flashy, it's super
Yeah.
great. Don't get me wrong, but everybody keeps telling me CMLL is selling tons of tickets each and every show. So Hazuki in all these shows is wrestling in front of 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. I think
That's
the one
great.
show like 10,000 people. So it's like she's wrestling in front of bigger crowds and getting
Hmm.
over. Don't get me wrong, Kogama as well is getting over, but it's Hazuki clearly like one of the most over people on these shows. So she's getting a bigger fan following.
Hmm.
Hopefully that translates into her finally winning the Wonder of Stardom championship, buddy. I'm
Yeah.
just
There we go.
I'm just saying, Andy Header, not unless there's anything else you want to talk about, because AEW has been pretty good, but they didn't have too much of the women's stuff. Obviously, we're recording this a few hours before Dynamite, where we're going to get the first match of the opening round of the tournament. Sky Blue and
Hmm.
Julia Hart taking on Jamie Hayter and Queen Amanada is going to be on that show. But not unless there's anything else around the horn you want to talk about. You want to get into this Sendai Girls show, partner.
I just want to say Hazuki and Kagawa's match in Mexico, though they had the Day of the Dead face paint, they looked really good. The face paint looked really cool. Shoko also had the face paint when she came out too, so they looked great there. I mean, they're the same gear, but just the face paint they came out, and I watched the video, like, yeah, it looked awesome.
I was going to text you this, but I may as well tell you this now. I obviously CMLL. They have, in order for you to watch it, there's certain tiers to subscribe to.
Hmm.
They do give a lot of their shows for free. That one that I sent you the other day, about 40 minutes in, you get the Shoko's match. Just to let you
Oh,
know.
okay, nice.
Yes, yes. It was pretty good. Again, you can just tell that there's like a language barrier because there was some
Yeah,
stuff
Spanish and
that
Japanese.
you
It's
once it clicked, then they clicked. Then they got into the really cool lucha versus Joshi Puro wrestle
yeah.
spots. But it's just like you can tell they were trying to feeling things out, and then it's
Hmm.
you can tell there's one spot where Shoko keeps trying to go for a sunset flip, and the girl that she's wrestling, just refuses to bend over, and she just keeps kicking her and keeps kicking her and keeps kicking her, keeps kicking her. And I was like, oh man, that would tick anybody off. And then she's like, okay, you finally got it. And then they start clicking into the really, again, it's the flashy lucha versus the great offense, the Joshi Puro style that is Shoko. So it's
Hmm.
about 40 minutes in. It's not that long of a match, maybe 5 or 6 minutes.
Hmm.
You'll enjoy it. And then the next match after is this one luchador. I've only seen her a few times. She's really good. She teamed with Tessa Blanchard to take on FWC.
Yeah, is that La Catina, I believe, or
I
something
think
like
that's
that?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I seen that the with the double submission part where Tessa and La Catina, if it's her, do the double submission. There's a clip on X. So yeah, I'd like to watch that one. And I know there's a luchador going to be on AEW tonight or Collision. Olympia, the real jacked girl. So she looks really good. I'm interested to see her.
She was great. Her and Persephone were probably the two standouts on Team CMLL for that World Grand Prix. It was really really good. I think she's challenging Mercedes Monet on. She's challenging. I think she's wrestling Mercedes for the title,
Yes.
Tiba's title on Collision. Yeah, she's
Hmm.
really really good. So again, everybody's working with each other.
Yeah, why
CMLL
not?
is
Look
working
at
with
this. Look at all
Stardom,
these matches.
AEW. Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky. Speaking of lucky, Andy Header, let's
Hmm.
go to Sendai Pit. Let's go to October 17th. Let's go to the semifinals of the Jaja Uma tournament. We start this show off with an absolute banger. Maria Koga taking on one of our new favorite wrestlers, Spike Nishimori. Spike picking up the win with the STO Lariat combination. That was a really solid back and forth, a really good 50-50 match. Again, you always want to start your shows with a hot opener. This show's only 5 matches long, a really fast but enjoyable show. And I thought this was really the perfect opener to set the tone for this show.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was a very solid opener. Spike like looked like she towered over Marie. Like she looked like she was a foot taller there, and she's like bigger like physically. So it was like kind of like the David and Goliath here. But it was a good match. I like how Maria. I don't know if it's Marie or Maria or Maria. So if you can tell us how to pronounce her name, we would appreciate it. We'll get it right. But I like how she kept going for the stretch muffler. I guess it must be her move. I haven't seen her that much. But Spike looked great here. Spike looked really good when the first time we seen her, and then her tag team, her makeshift tag team with Rain Leverkusen, that was really good. But yeah, this match was good. There's the Falcon Arrow near fall, and then the short arm clothesline STO, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of both, and then Spike gets the win here. And I saw a lot of near falls near the end. They look really good, and I give it 3 1/4 stars. Very solid opener, and I
And
look
it's
forward to seeing more Spike.
Yeah, obviously, again, she's going to be in the finals of the tournament. Again, that show where she's wrestling the finals against Sanka. Spoilers for a match we're talking about
Hmm.
2 minutes. That is on the same show as Sari versus Chir Hashimoto. So
Mm.
as if you don't have enough focus on
Yeah.
to put enough motivation on to watch that show. Yeah, I had 3.5 stars. I really liked how Maria Koga was going after the leg with the stretch muffler. Anytime Spike got out, she used those low leg kicks to
Hmm.
set it up, but eventually it was just Spike with that fighting spirit picking up the win. Match number 2, different styles of matches. The powerful Nightshade,
Hmm.
and I don't know if Nightshade has ever wrestled for Sendai Girls before. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of her. She's been wrestling all over the world, honing her craft, taking on one Dash Sako. I thought this was like power versus the point where Dash is like the 17-year veteran, where she's just like, I got to use the tricks of the trade. I got to bend the
Hmm.
rules a little bit using some of the hardcore style. I thought this was great, but eventually it's Dash that outsmarts Nightshade and gets like a front face roll up, picking up the win. Dash getting a win on Night. It was really cool watching Dash wrestle like a kind of normal match because she's
Yeah.
really great at every style, but her bread and butter is those wild, all over the place hardcore
Yeah.
matches. And
Brawls.
this was a fun professional wrestling match from Dash Taco, and Nightshade was fantastic here as well.
First time for me seeing Nightshade. She does remind me a lot of Piper Niven in WWE. That and a little bit of a like a female Bam Bam. So she has a really cool look, a very cool aura about her. I liked how there was a lot of times with like in the beginning where it's like Dash just can't do moves to Nightshade. She's too big, she's too strong. So like you said, Dash has to cheat or find ways to get around that. Nightshade does the fallaway slam. It looks really good, and then she does a hip attack. So all that coming at the corner for the hip attack looked really good. And then turn my page here. I like when Nightshade did the senton the dash. The crowd's like, "Oh!" Like she killed her, and then she did a splash, and the crowd went crazy for that too. There was a top rope double stomp near fall by Dash that looked really good, kind of bit there, and then the power slam off the top by Nightshade that looked really good. There was Dash kind of does basically Drew McIntyre's Claymore, and then a top rope double stomp for another near fall by Dash, and then misses the frog splash, a senton by Nightshade, and then it was an electric chair turned into a victory roll basically for the 1 2 3 and Dash beats Nightshade here. But yeah, I like Nightshade here. I kind of want to see more of her. She reminds me of like an '80s wrestling heel, which I kind of like. So I'd like to see more of her. Of course, Dash is great.
What was your rating, good sir?
Oh, 3.5, 3.5. I really liked it.
Me too, sir. Me too. Speaking of 3, match number 3. This is hard hitting, professional, strong style wrestling.
Hmm.
6-person tag. Hiro Matsumoto teaming with Zones, teaming with Soy to take on the team of Ryo Mizumami and Team 200 kg Chihiro Hashimoto and you. This was exactly what you thought it'd be. Hard hitting, great
Hmm.
action, a lot of strikes, a lot of near falls, a lot of forearms, a lot of closeouts. Andy Header, since we're on YouTube, we have
My
a run in, buddy.
we
We
got
have a
right
run in.
here. My cat Jabroni. Oh, he's looking at the camera. There he is. He just wanted
No,
came to say hello. Say he's a big fan of Chihiro Hashimoto.
aren't we all? Aren't we all? But eventually, it is you hitting the second rope body splash onto Soy for the 3 count. This was great. Again, like when I saw this graphic come up, I'm like, I know what I'm going to get, and I got it in spades. And the fact they gave this time to tell their story. And again, we've seen Zones and Soy quite a bit on the New Blood shows over the last year or so. I'm thoroughly impressed with them, and I'm really glad that they're getting opportunities to wrestle in the bigger Joshis like Sendai
Hmm.
Girls. Again, on a really good show like this.
Yeah, and there was a lot of cool stuff. I like the multiple clotheslines back and forth by Zones and Chihiro, and they're going at it back and forth. That was really cool. A lot of the cool double teams and everything here. And for retiring, you quite like Meiko Satomura. Still looks really good. She doesn't look like she's missing a step at all. And I think she's retiring what in a month, 2 months.
The 28th of December against
December.
Shira
So,
Hashimoto.
well, let's say roughly
2 months.
2 months. Yeah, about something. She does not look like she is about ready to retire, but I guess go out when you're at your best. But yeah, this match was very entertaining. Everybody looked good here. And then Rio when she's doing all the chops, and then she chops with one hand, stops her chop with the other hand, and back to that hand. That was really cool. And then the bouncing splash by you to Soy. 1 2 3. That's all she wrote. I thought this was a great 6 man. 3.5 here too.
Yeah, excellent. So I had this one at 3 3/4. So I liked a little bit better than you, but really good stuff. Andy Header, we go to the second semifinal match of the Jaja Uma tournament and the semifinals of this show. When the brackets were announced for this, I'm like, there's very possibility we might see Yuna take on Sanka, two of
Hmm.
the brightest stars in their respectable companies. Obviously, Sanka, the big rookie working for Sendai Girl, excuse me, not Sendai Girls, Marvelous, and Yuna, obviously the Sendai Girls junior champion. First thing we noticed, not that Andy, I'm going to tip Andy Header's
Hmm.
hand here. Yuna, new gear.
Yeah, it looked
Yuna
great.
had new gear. This was great, and I kind of figured uh, once this match was announced, I was like, the clear booking for me, Sanka will pick up the win here, and then we'll do Sanka and Spike in the finals. And my prediction is I think Spike's gonna win this tournament,
Hmm.
and then that's gonna give Sanka an opportunity to wrestle Yuna because Sanka has pinned Yuna, which we're gonna talk about in a moment. And then I think Yuna will get her win back, but I think eventually Spike's gonna beat Yuna to become the new Sendai Girls Junior champion. Very well might
I can see
happen on
that.
that. That very well may happen on that show on the 28th of December on Yu's retirement match. So, but regardless, I'm getting ahead of myself. This was great. It was fundamental wrestling. You can see these two wrestlers very young in their careers. They have the fundamentals down, and they know how to put on a great match. This was excellent stuff. The psychology of the selling, Sanka really bullying Yuna. Yuna's very great at like getting sympathy and getting the
Hmm.
crowd behind her and then getting that great fire. Eventually, though, to Sanka with a huge lariat and then that shoot style capture pin,
Hmm.
putting away Yuna. I thought this was absolutely brilliant. Again, these two wrestlers, I think Sanka just the other day just celebrated her first year in pro wrestling.
Wow.
She's only been wrestling a year,
Wow.
and I don't think Yuna's that far ahead of her. Wow, this
No.
was a next level match. I thoroughly enjoyed this one, partner.
Yeah, I thought this one was really good, and I love that Sanka is basically like someone took a time machine, went back to 1988 or 89, took one random Joshi girl and brought her to current day with her gear and the way she wrestles, the fact that she finished with the lariat, like, and she does like she did a body slam at one point, and that was the near fall, the body slam. So like, I like this girl. I like that she got the old school, and because she has such simple gear, she really stands out because she looks like an old, early, late 80s, early 90s Joshi wrestler. So yeah, her look is awesome.
Well, you know what that look is from, right?
The jumping bomb angels,
Close.
Crush
That's
Gals.
uh, uh, Chigusa Nageo.
Oh, okay.
That's
Really?
literally literally the same color scheme as Chigusa Nageo's
Really?
singlet from back in the 80s. It just says marvelous on the side.
Yeah.
Now, her tag partner, Linus Asuka, the other half of the Crush Gals, has the blue one that Sora, who debuted the same time as Sanka, has as well. So
Oh,
clearly they
wow,
have
that's
big
awesome.
plans for Sora and Sanka. The fact
Yeah.
that they gave them these two, and not only that, but they only a few months in their career, and they came over to the U.S. for WrestleMania weekend. And if you remember, Sanka wrestled Aja Kong. I don't know.
Hmm.
We were there for that show. The show started at 11. Rob and I were exhausted because we actually left. Yeah, we actually left Bloodsport because Bloodsport ran late. So we left Bloodsport to catch this show. It's a good thing we did because they were like, we're just getting ready to close the doors. And
Oh,
we were
wow.
so exhausted. I was like, we have to be there because we're covering the show for the podcast. And there was about 300 people in that building. It was a small building, and they were electric for everything. I got to find out where that show is available. It might be on Triller TV because the crowd was into everything. But like the fact that like Sanka was kicking out of Aja Kong, like just a kick out, and the place was going nuts for a kick out.
Yeah. Wow.
Like it was, yeah, the damnedest 4 minute match you ever see. Anywho,
Wow.
and if I could
I
find
have
that
to see
match, I'll
it.
definitely send it
Yeah.
over to you because it was absolutely electric. I had that match at 4 stars. I thought this was great.
Wow. I had it three and three quarters, but yeah, I thought it was really good. I like Sanka, and I hope she keeps her old school vibes and her old look. Do the old moves, do the old look because it works and it really stands out today. And Yuna's great too. But yeah, this was really good.
Funny side note, actually, Andy Header, the hotel we stayed at was the same hotel the Marvelous Girls stayed at. The reason
Ooh.
why I knew that because we were walking by through the casino on the downstairs, and Singh and Sora
Hmm.
almost double shoulder tackled me. They were walking, talking, didn't see
Yeah.
me, and I was like, I literally because I think even I think Amber's like, isn't that those two of the Joshi girls? I was like, oh yeah, it's Sora and Sanka, and they were like talking. I literally just like stopped and then like had to do a spin move, or else I would have gotten double shoulder tackled into probably the poker table. So the same poker table that Unagi Sayaka was actually at. Yeah,
Ooh.
Unagi was there. So it was a star-studded affair over at New York in Las Vegas. And here, obviously, now we have our final setup. We have Spike taking on Sanka in the finals of the Jaja Uma tournament. Again, I just tipped my hand. I think that Spike's winning the whole thing. How about you, buddy? Where's your prediction lie?
I can see it going either way, but I think they got a lot of plans for Spike. I mean, she recently signed, and then like they've been pushing her, and even when they're losing, she still looks good. So I think Spike's gonna win too.
There you go. There you go. Andy Header. Let's get into this main event. Again, the
Hmm.
solid show, this main event. And I think I mentioned to Rob when we did and all of our viewers that came to watch our live review of Marigold Grand Destiny that if you have 20, even if you don't have it, make the time to watch this match.
Hmm.
This is just another great tag match in Joshi, one of the best tag matches in Joshi, which is saying something considering like what Stardom's been doing, what Sendai Girls are doing, Marvelous, Marigold, Tokyo Joshi Pro. This was great. Like, obviously, we try to review every single Sendai Girl show because they're terrific and they have Mika Wada and Chiro
Hmm.
Hashimoto, and every now and again they bring in Bob Momo Banana or one of the two. But the fact that we had Bob Momo Banana versus Red Energy, maybe my two favorite tag teams outside of the Stardom and Marigold bubble. And I had high expectations,
Hmm.
and this hit every single beat. So here we go. Mia Momomo and Eureka Oka taking on Miyuki Takase and Mika Wada. Again, Bob Momo Banana versus Red Energy. This was absolutely fantastic match with Mia Momomo hitting the code red to Miyuki Takase for the 3 count. I mean, you had great single stuff, you had great tag
Hmm.
stuff. You had the all. I love this one spot, and I know you're going to hit upon it. I just wanted to make mention of it, where you have all these drop kicks. You
Yes.
have 5 from Eureka Oka, and then Mia Momoa comes in and she hits 5, and then they hit 5 simultaneously, where it's like Mio hits 1, and then
Hmm.
Eureka owns, and then boom, 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 boom. So I'm sitting there going, you know this. Whenever you're doing a cool spot, you need to end it with the best thing possible. Like I always say, it's like you're writing a really good sentence or a really good paragraph. You need to end it with the exclamation point. What's the exclamation point going to
The
be? And again,
double.
folks, exactly, buddy. You see, obviously, Andy had to do with the psychology because again, it's 5 from Eureka,
Hmm.
5 from Mio, and then they hit boom, 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 back and forth.
Yeah,
They
alternating.
o- they only hit one double drop kick, and that's the last drop kick that you see, not only in that spot, but that match, because it's one thing to get hit with 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet. But then when you get hit with 4 all at once, and they only did it once, which I absolutely love.
Hmm.
I thought that was great. This whole match was just absolutely fantastic. Next level stuff. And again, folks, if you have not seen this match, what are you doing? I love it.
Yeah.
Rob always says, if you haven't seen this, pause the podcast. No, don't pause the podcast. Listen to us
Yeah,
and
and
go
then
and
watch it.
watch it. Yeah, there's no commentary on it, so you don't have to worry about it. Listen to this as you're watching at
Hmm.
the same time. This was great. One of my favorite tag matches of the year. 4.5 stars. Maybe my favorite Bob Momo Banana match I've ever seen, and maybe my favorite Red Energy match I've ever
Oh
seen. I have
wow.
to really. I love FWC. I
Hmm.
love FWC versus Bob Momo Banana at the big show a few months ago was
Yeah.
great.
Hmm.
This was even better. Hard hitting. I didn't know which way it was going to go. So many great near falls. I was on the edge of my seat. And I watched this about a week after this aired, and I didn't know. I wasn't spoiled. I didn't know who won. So I didn't know which way it was going to go. I figured Red Energy would have probably gotten the win because they're the
Hmm.
more of the established team in Sendai Girls. It was Mio, who wrestles for Marvelous, getting the pin on Yuka Takase. This match was so good that I wanted to see it again. Like
Yeah.
it's just like I would love to see them do this again and again and again. It's like a matchup that I would never want to get old. Again, this is great. 4.5 stars. Phenomenal.
Yeah, everything that you said, I going into this, I love Bob Mo. Banana Red Energy is really good too, so I was like, this gotta be good. And I like right in the beginning, Bob go to sneak attack, but Red Energy's ready, so they're like, they back off. That was pretty cool. They have to shake hands, and they sneak attack anyway. So I'm like, oh, that's a cool little opening thing there. Um, there was a part where what was it? That Miku did 3 PKs to Mio, and I'm like, oh man, 3 PKs, 3 kicks like that, like, ugh. There was a nice the Toyota roll by Miyuki to Mio. That looked really good. The Bob double teams were all over here. There was a double nose grab by Eureka and Miyuki to Miyuki, so she got her nose at one point. So it was cool how like Bob was the silly, but they're still kind of serious. So silly versus very serious tag team in Red Energy. Um, the stalling deadlift suplex by Eureka, and that's when we get the drop kick spot, which I like to call the drop kick assault, which is boom, 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 and then the big double one to finish it off. That was nice. And then what came right after that? A missile drop kick by Mio for a near fall. As I go there here. Where was it? Oh, I like there was what's that forward roll thing? We put some on your shoulders like a DVD, but you go forward.
The Finley
Mr.
roll. The
Yeah, but
Finley
Mr.
roll.
Kenny used to do it. He did the Finley roll, and then the Alabama Jam on Mio by Miyuki. That looked really cool. Of course, the Alabama Jam Midnight Express, legs up off the top rope. The double electric.
Shout outs to the late great Bobby Eaton, by the way,
Yes,
and
yes.
the late great Chris Candido, because he when he was doing
Oh
ECW, it was called the
yeah.
spring break. So whenever I call that, I always shout out the late great Bobby Eaton and the late great Chris Candido.
Hmm.
They will be forever remembered. Continue, Godsaw.
Yes, the leg drop off the top rope, which is a hell of a bump for the guy giving it. Yeah, just let you know that. There was the double electric chair by Mio to Mio by Red Energy. Then the double flakjack to Eureka. The return crush, but it was like a neck breaker by Mika. That looked really good. And then there was the running lariat by Miyuki for a near fall. The cradle shock by Miyuki. Then reversed into a pin by Mio. Ref doesn't count 3 for some reason. This was the only thing about the match. He was like 1, 2 kick out. So
Yeah,
it was a
I don't
little
like that.
weird. Yeah, I like you said with Utami and Miku, where it was like 1, 2, 3. Like you're not a heel ref, just count the normal 1, 2, 3. I get it, but okay. But anyway, and then finally the code red by Mio to Miyuki. 1, 2, 3. Bob Momo Banana wins, and a great match. Watch it if you can. If you watch one match from the show, watch the main event. I give it 3 or 4.5 to 3.5, 4.5 stars.
Yep, 4.5 for me as well. So, Andy Header, again, obviously, just kind of some on-air booking because I'm not sure what we're going to cover next week, but we may cover a few matches from Marvelous. Marvelous, they actually put up two shows, probably within about a week.
Mm.
Semifinals, Miyamoto versus Ai Hozan. So we might do
Okay.
that one. Oh, we're doing this one next week, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Tak-
Uh-oh.
Takumi Iroha and Senka taking on Magenta, Maria and Rico.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Wow.
so we'll do
Nice.
that. That is from the 9-6. I'll text you all this
Okay.
later. And then, the one thing I don't like about
Wrestling
Wrestle
Universe.
Universe, they don't have a back button. You kind of got to
Yeah,
go back.
that's the only thing. I mean, the for a streaming wrestling site, it's the best. But yeah, the back button
Yep. Oh,
could be useful.
sorry.
Hey, and Takumi Aroha, someone came out to challenge her for the GHC title the other day, Mayu Iwatani. So
My,
that would be a hell of
well,
a match.
Yeah, one Mayu. And then I did make mention this off air. And then the semifinals of the show on the 21st of again, this is Marvelous. So it would be Spark Rush, not from Mega Man, but from Joshi. Takumi Rohan Suri versus Valentina Rossi, which we've seen a few times before, is really,
Mm-hmm.
really good, and Mia Momono. So I
Mm.
think that those will be two matches that we are going to cover for next week's show. Again, pending on what else gets dropped. I know that Sendai Girls had a few shows, but I think they're on VOD. So we'll see. We'll see what drops there in Tokyo Joshi Pro as well. But I think we should add at least those those two
Yeah.
matches because those will be really, really good. Andy Header. Again, one of the great things about Talk Joshi is we can go back in time and watch certain things that we
Mm-hmm.
want. And sometimes we like, hey, this is a whole show. It's 4 hours. We don't have that. We can cherry pick what we want to watch. Andy Header, we're going to go back to 316. Oh, hell yeah.
What?
What? What? We're going to go to Grand Princess Tokyo Joshi Pro Oda Ward City
Mm-hmm.
Gym, 1,212 people. Now, again, we're not going to talk about the full card. We're just going to go over the last five matches. And the last five matches quickly will read as this: Willow Nightingale, yes, that Willow Nightingale, versus Miyu Watanabe. Mako Satomura on her retirement tour, which you did talk about, like, why did she retire? So good.
Yeah.
Taking on one Yuki Arai. And then we go to the International Princess Championship as the champion, Suzumi, taking on Arisa Endo. Daisy Monkey explodes. Semi-main event. Shoko Nakajima, who seemed like she was wrestling on another level here. Shoko and Hyper Masao taking on the tag team champions of Miyu Yamashita and Maki Ito. And the main event, which completely blew me away, was Mizuki with her defense of the Princess of Princess Championship against Rika Tatsumi. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, let me see. I have it written down here as I get my notes. It's weird because I got the matches out of order. Rika Tatsumi, yes.
Rika, which by the way, that match was so good that I went to go look Rika up on Twitter. And as of yesterday, she is the current DDP Iron Man Heavy Metal Champion. So,
Oh, wow.
because
She
I was
beat my
like,
hero.
yes, so or a clipboard, or maybe
Yeah,
that
yeah, the chair or
the
the
Incredible
ladder.
Hulk, the
Yeah,
Incredible Hulk figure behind you. So,
yeah, you never know.
Andy here, let's get into these last five matches. I was blown away by how great these matches are, and it obviously helps with the English commentary. They're doing a
Yes.
fantastic job. It helps out Willow Nightingale taking on Miyu Watanabe. Obviously, Willow Nightingale, former TBS champion. Miyu Watanabe, as of this recording, the current Tokyo Joshi Pro
Hmm.
Princess of Princess champion. This was great because you had just like strength versus strength, and this was you can see these two just Willow was having a ball here. And
Yeah.
I got to meet Willow Nightingale twice this past year, once at WrestleCon and once at Comic Con, just the one that me and you were at a
Hmm.
few weeks ago. And she just, first of all, she's absolutely lovely. But anytime you talk about her wrestling in Japan, she really lights up. Obviously,
Oh, nice.
she's wrestled Tam Nakano last year at
Hmm.
Flashing Champions. And again here, Miyu Watanabe. This was great. These two have really great chemistry. This was excellent stuff. And eventually, though, it is Willow Nightingale hitting a big pounce and the Dr. Bomb, as she calls that babe with the bomb for the 3 count. This was a really, really fun, great match. I gave it 4.25 stars.
I thought this match was really good. My only complaint about this match is it was too short
I
because
agree.
I was really enjoying this match. I thought, by this point in the show, it was, the midpoint of the show, so it was going to start cooking. I'm like, wow, this match is surprisingly good. I mean, not that I thought it wasn't going to be. I like that Miyu does the strength thing and she picks Willow up and she's holding Willow. I'm like, ooh, that's really nice with the delayed body slam. Uh, I wrote down shows off the strength. The spine buster by Willow, but can't get the giant swing. Willow tried to do the giant swing to Miyu. Of course, Miyu ain't going to be giant swing, but then Miyu does giant swing Willow. She got the whole 10 rotations. I like how they did. She did the two laser beams and a power slam, which was really nice. As I go on here, she got the Canadian backbreaker again, showing off the strength. She picks Willow up, and it's like picks her up a little bit and like holding her, and then picks her all the way up. So that looked really good. And then Willow hit, which they didn't call. They called it a little bit on commentary. They said Rainmaker chop, which is like the normal Rainmaker, but push out and then chop, and then she hit the Oklahoma Stampede. A little more Doctor Death reference here, which I'm like they didn't pick up on that, but they picked up on the Doctor Bomb, and I was like, did Willow do this on purpose because it's Japan? Doctor Death, I think she did. But anyway, that was the near fall with Oklahoma Stampede. A superplex by Willow, two laser beams by Mio to the back, and then the pounce by Willow, and then the Doctor Bomb. I was surprised she pinned Mew here. 1, 2, 3. Willow gets the victory, and just think she pinned the current champion, but then she wasn't the champion. But yeah, this match was great. I gave it 4 even, but a great match.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was I agree with the only complaint. It was too short. It's really weird that they flew Willow all the way over, not only for just one match, but like a shorter match.
Yeah.
With the ace of the company. Obviously, Mizuki is the champion, but Miyu Watanabe, her and Miyu Yamashita have been the aces of the company for quite some time. So again, it's smart when you have an international talent, you put them up against the big star. Again, when Willow was in when she was in Japan, she did that one match for Star, and they put her up against Tam. So it's like,
There you
yeah,
go.
that makes sense. So we go to the next match. Mako Satomura on her retirement tour, taking on Yuki Arai. What a great rub this is for Yuki Arai. I believe
Hmm.
this is Mako's last match in Tokyo Joshi Pro. I did text you something the other day that Mako Satomura had a match in Cork and Hall last year. It was like Mako and Miyu versus who was it? Shoko and somebody. I just text you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forget.
I
Yeah,
gotta
but we'll
lose
we'll
my
we'll
phone. I
we'll
look,
talk
yeah,
about maybe
it
we'll
was
add
good.
that on. Yeah, I mean just against Mako Satomura and Tokyo Joshi Pro team with like basically all of the aces. But this was really great. It's a typical Mako Satomura match, which is a good thing. Like you have the kicks, the strikes, the fighting spirit. Yuki Arai throws that step up Insiguri so many times or that axe kick so many times, and Mako just takes it like a champ. Then you also know that Mako is going to destroy Yuki Arai. She
Yeah.
does with the Satomura special. The first, like you get some really great technical wrestling, and you're just waiting for something to happen. And then Mako hits the scorpion kick, and now we're on another level in this match.
Hmm.
Eventually, though, Mako puts her away with the Satomura special, and not one but two DVDs, which I thought it was really cool for Mako, a living legend that still can absolutely kick ass. The fact that she had to hit basically three big moves back to back to back with the Satomura special, and then two DVDs that
Hmm.
really, even though Yuki's the one looking at the lights, it really shows like, damn, I really had to not only empty out the toolbox, I do my finisher twice in a row to put away Yuki Arai. I thought this was great. And again, a really great showing for Yuki Arai. 4 stars for me.
Yeah, everything what you said, I thought looked good. Yuki looked really good here against Mako. Mako, like I said before, doesn't look like she's about to retire. Looks like she, even in commentary, they said we think she still has. She looks like she has 10 years left in her, and she probably does if she wanted to. But yeah, even though this match was mainly, I would say probably 75-25 with Mako getting 75% of the offense, Yuki did get some. She did hit her Uncle Slam, as I like to call it, which made me think of the name Yuki SA. So she could. There's a trademark idea for Yuki right there. Uncle Slam, Yuki SA. But she hit that for a near fall. There was one part where Yuki strikes didn't phase Mako at all, and then it takes Yuki down. Like Yuki's just firing away, and then Mako just takes down with one big one. So I was like, that's pretty cool how they're doing that. Still Mako's a legend here. We're right here. There's an STF to Mako when Yuki's getting back up. Yuki gets a sharpshooter on Mako, and then another running cartwheel kick, the Setamore special, which reminds me of M. Bison's scissor kick move in Street Fighter. Speaking of Street Fighter, even though he wasn't in that one. Yeah, that's what that reminds me of. So I wrote down the M. Bison kick, but yeah, the DVD by Mako, then a second DVD by Mako, 1, 2, 3, and she wins. But Yuki doesn't look bad here by losing at all. I gave it 3 3/4 star, but yeah, very good match.
Andy Hender, speaking of great matches, Suzumi, Arisa Endo. Again, we've only been covering Tokyo Joshi Pro a little bit. I know who these two were because a lot of people keep saying, Matt, wait, you love Joshi Tag. This is one of the best tag team in all of Joshi. And a little bit of the tag stuff, I've seen them. I've been thoroughly impressed. but these two as a singles wrestlers are really great. This was
Hmm.
phenomenal. I love this finish. Obviously, Suzumi does the diamond cutter, the ace crusher, what she calls the ring the bell.
Hmm.
But she does different variations of it. Like she did one here where it's basically like on the knees. I think they called it a
Yeah, like
bottom floor.
a basement one. Yeah.
Basement one, yeah. And then Arisa Endo basically her big finish is she puts you up for the torture rack and then gives you a neck breaker. I don't know the name of that move. I don't know. I'm sure they said it on
Yeah.
commentary. They probably have a cool name. I thought this finish was so creative because Suzumi goes for the ring a bell, and when she grabs Risa Endo, again, they're tag partners, so they know each other. This is a great counter for counter wrestling match. But it's like, well, like she grabs her here. I'm like, I'm already in position. So then she picks her up like she's going for the torture rack neck
Yeah.
breaker. But then Suzumi just basically throws herself off. She hits the ground and then does one jump into basically almost an Oz cutter version
Hmm.
of the ring the bell for the 3 count. I thought this was a great match, a great counter for counter wrestling. It was a great 50-50 match that had a brilliant finish. Thoroughly enjoyed it. 4.25 stars for me. Suzumi making a successful title defense here against her tag partner.
Yeah, this match was very good. And you know what? When I was watching the show, it got to the point where we watched the one match, and then it said, "Oh, up next is intermission." So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hit the skip button. But when I hit the skip button, it skipped over this match, and then I got to the main event, and I'm like, "Huh? They're saying main event. There's one more match yet." And I was like, "Oh, I missed one." So then I had to go back and watch it. But I did watch it. But it was very good. I like how Suzume kept doing the face crushers and the different variations of the face crusher. I like the walk up the ropes, top rope face crusher. That was really cool here. I like when they did the submissions in the ropes with Arisa got the camel clutch, but Suzume, what did she have? I wrote it down here. Oh, the crucifix in the ropes. That looked really cool. So it was cool how they're doing submissions in the ropes because they're tag partners. They know each other. There was a cool thing where Arisa does. They called it a guillotine knee, where she like puts her knee behind her head, kind of like that old school move, and like rides her down off the apron onto the floor. That
It was
looked really
almost
cool.
like the Dick Murdoch Gravedigger,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
instead of doing it in
absolutely.
the ring, it was like on the floor. That's what I put whenever I see that. I always say the Dickie Murdoch Gravedigger. So a move that Murdoch did back in the 70s, even before we were
Yeah.
born. We're seeing it in current day Joshi. So hey,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
old is
How
new
about that?
again, you know?
Yeah. No, and that was a big move back in like the early 80s that they'd like ride you down basically. I think Punk did it once in a big match in WWE
A
years
hundred,
ago.
100%. Because I remember when he was on commentary for Ring of Honor and IW Mid South, he would out. That's how I know it's called the Gravedigger because he would say, "Oh, the old Dickie Murdoch Gravedigger." And then when he went to NXT or not NXT, OVW and WWE, he started doing it there. I'm like, oh, I remember him. I used to always, I forget who used to do it in Ring of Honor and IW Mid South. It might have been Claudio, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're absolutely right. I
Oh,
know
how
for a
about
fact
that?
that,
That's
that
memory.
that's where Punk got it, and that's again
It's a
that's how I know it's Dick Murdoch
There
Gravedigger.
we
Because
go.
CM Punk would always say Andy Header hitting the Dickie Murdoch Gravedigger. So go ahead,
Nice.
good sir.
Yeah, that's a great move. More people should do it. I like it. Um, as I go on here. There was a cool part where there's this Suzume locks on a head scissors submission, and then like Arisa starts to stand up a little bit, and then she still has the submission. She's like it's like a diagonal submission, looks really good, and then Arisa turns into basically the Kryptonite Crunch, my move, and then Kira Summer goes, "Was that her waterfall suplex or water wheel suplex?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I don't think it was," and then she hits her water wheel suplex. So that was pretty cool. Locks on the camel clutch, but that doesn't get it. Arisa goes up top. Suzumi turns that into the face crusher. That was really cool. There was a forearm battle back and forth. Thrust kicks times two by Arisa. They look really cool. You call it a super kick if you want to. That's when Suzumi goes back. She hits the basement ring a bell there. That looked really cool. I was like, that's over there. But that was a near fall. Then Arisa goes for the torture rack, like you said. And then Suzume gets out of it. Springboard hits I believe they called it the Suzume cutter, but I just called it the ring a bell. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this match was great. I gave it 4 even, but yeah, really good match.
And here we go to some great tag team wrestling. And this tag team match, it had your comedy stuff, right? And then it built, and you got into some great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Miyu Yamashita and Maki Ito taking on Hyper Michelle and Shoko Nakajima. My favorite wrestler from Tokyo Joshi Pro on one side, Miyu Yamashita. Your favorite wrestler from Tokyo Joshi Pro on the other side, Shoko Nakajima. And as soon as this match was over, I text you and I'm like, wait, because I know you said when I get home, I'm going to watch it. So this way we're good for
Mm-hmm.
the podcast tomorrow. I'm like, I love Miyu Yamashita. Again, she's my favorite wrestler in this company. Shoko Nakajima was easily the best wrestler in this match and maybe
Mm-hmm.
on this show. Obviously, Mizuki, we're going to talk about, was phenomenal in the main event. Shoko just seemed like, especially those last 4 or 5 minutes, like she understood, like, okay, it's a semi-main event, one of our biggest shows of the year. Oda Ward, it's a big venue, 1,200 people here in Oda Ward. She was on another level here. Like you get your
Mm-hmm.
comedy stuff in the beginning, like you get the dives in the beginning, and then Hyper Marcel brings out the bike. She starts running
Yeah.
over everybody. And
She hits my
then
hero.
yeah, and then Hyper, and then Maki Ito's like, the heck with this. He gets her mic stand and then hits Hyper
Yeah,
Misao off
knocks
the
her off the
bike.
bike.
Off the bike. We're like 3 minutes in. Great double teams, great single stuff. This was great. And then you get Hyper Misao locking Miyu Yamashita in the Cobra clutch. And it looks like Miyu Yamashita keeps, and I love it how they built like a 3-minute falsie on this move using fighting spirit, using teasing the ropes, and then using the tag partners. This finish was so brilliant, and they didn't do anything, but they did everything because Miyu gets to the ropes, and then as Hyper is trying to pull her off the ropes, out of nowhere, here comes Shoko Nakajima with the top rope 619,
Hmm.
pulling her off, which I thought was absolutely great. And then she has her in the camel clutch, and Maki Ito's trying to get into the ring, and then Shoko hits a senton
Yeah,
off
the
the
apron
top rope
senton.
onto the apron, and then Miyu Yamashita almost gets out, and then Hyper Misao hits the reverse DDT for the 3 count. This was great. 4.25 stars. Not as good as the tag match we talked about a little bit ago, Bob Momo Banana versus Red Energy, but a really great tag match. Again, Hyper was really good. Maki Ito was really good. Miyu was terrific, but Shoko
Hmm.
Nakajima was just resting on another level in this match. Was really excellent. This was fantastic stuff. Really fun, entertaining tag match. Again, you had the fast start, you had the dives, you had the comedy, but then once it got serious, it got serious. We had some, the return crush from Miyu Yamashita. I need to see Shoko versus Miyu Yamashita. I'm sure there's a single
Yeah,
match that they
probably
had.
is. Yeah.
There's got to be. There's no way that those two have been in this company this long and they never ran that. Again, 4.25 stars. I thought this was phenomenal.
Yeah, this was really good. This might be my favorite match on the show. I like the wackiness of Hyper Marcel on the bike. She runs down my hero and she hits Miyu with it. And Maki gets her Sailor Moon microphone stand, as the Mr. Raku called it, knocked her off the bike. So the comedy was good, but that was basically the only comedy. And then it was all serious from there on. There was so much good stuff here. Shoko looked like a house of fire. Miyu here right in the beginning. Miyu hit a nice tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, looked really good. I like how Maki came in, hit the 10 punches. I'm like, hey, 10 punches in a Joshi match. That's something you don't normally see. And then a face wash, which looked just devastating, the face wash she hit there. Um, there's a part where Maki fight on the apron, and then Shoko runs her into the pole. That looked really cool because it was like she run her backwards. It looked really good. The Maki's DDT Shoko on the apron, and then a swinging DDT on the floor, so double the DDT here. I thought Maki wrestled really good here. For being a comedy wrestler, she didn't do much comedy in this match at all. She was very serious in this match. I'm like, I could use a little more serious Maki Ito here. She hit a running DVD on Shoko, which looked really nice. There's a part where Shoko and Maki battle up top, and then Shoko hits the Frankensteiner. That was awesome. And then a running crossbody immediately by Hyper. And then I wrote Shoko kind of locks on a rope submission, and she's kind of like losing her. But then Hyper runs in like out of nowhere and hits a knee. And I thought that looked really cool. Like she's like, "Hey, my partner's kind of in trouble with this move here. I'm gonna hit a knee." It looked really good there. As I turn my page here, there's a deadlift German that would look really nice. And then Hyper's mask at some point falls off. I'm like, oh no, she has her mask. They should have got a towel and covered her. And then they said
They,
something, I
they
guess,
said on commentary she has more power when she
yeah,
loses the mask, but it's only for a short amount of time. I guess it's like almost like getting the star in Super Mario Brothers. Like that's the way that I
yeah,
kind of
something
interpret it.
like
I was like,
that.
oh, okay.
And they did say in commentary she has an evil form that apparently doesn't wear a mask. So we have to go back and see her evil form and see what's going on there. So they said maybe that was she was being a little evil there, but yeah, she got more power. Miyu hits the AA, the FU, the John Cena as I call it, and then that Randy Orton rope trip DDT by Maki to Shoko that looked really good, and then they sandwiched Shoko with 2 strikes that looked really cool. There's a return crush on Hyper Masao that looked really good there by Miyu. There's 3 big kicks on Masao, and then Masao reverses the John Cena into an Angel's Wings, which looked really cool. And they said on commentary she hardly ever does that move. It's a throwback to something. I missed that part. And then, like you said, with the top rope 619 by Shoko, that looked really cool. Shoko looked awesome here at the end. And then that senton off the top to the apron, that was crazy. And then Hyper Marcel kind of hit like Big Show's final cut on Miyu for the 1, 2, 3, and we get the new tag team champion. So yeah, this match I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars.
Yeah, I hit it up. Yeah, 4.25. Yeah, that was really, really, really great. You get a little bit of everything. She had the bike and the mic stand,
Hmm.
and I think in commentary they even said Maki Ito said the F word, and even said the F word. They said
Yeah,
the actual F word. I'm like, oh,
yeah, they did.
I guess we can curse on commentary.
Yeah,
So yeah, I thought it was really funny how I think it was Mr. Haku. I think that's who's great. He's
yeah,
got a great voice. But he's like, yeah, obviously Maki Ito's not for the kids because she said then he says the F word. I'm like, well, then you're not for the kids either. So
yeah.
I find that really funny. And here we go to this main event. Again, we've seen quite a bit of Mizuki. She's phenomenal. Obviously, great match at Wrestle Princess earlier, just about a month or so ago against Miyu Watanabe. Just really great stuff here. Rika Tatsumi, we've seen a little bit of before. So I was like, it's really interesting considering the fact all the talent that's on this show that you're in Oda Ward, one of your biggest venues on one of your biggest shows of the year. That again, we don't know too much about Tokyo Joshi Pro, and thanks to everybody, especially Frohausen,
Hmm.
especially Andy from the
Yeah.
Tokyo Joshi Pro podcast for giving us some great stuff. So I was like, well, let's see what this is. This was great. Though this was great, and the fact that Mizuki may have the coolest finisher in all the wrestling, that
Hmm.
whirling candy, that she doesn't do it here. Like, doesn't she
Yeah.
attempts it once, and then Rika has it so well scouted, she basically stops it with a hip attack. This was you had a lot of fast paced, high speed junior style professional wrestling, and then Rika takes out Mizuki's leg with the
Yeah. That was
dragon screw leg
beautiful.
work, and she does a whole bunch of different variations. And I've seen so many different variations of the dragon screw leg work. We see Starlight Kid doing it quite a bit. Obviously, Hiroshi Tanahashi, that's
Hmm.
is phenomenal at it. You want to go a generation before Tatsumi Fujinami, basically the guy
Hmm.
that invented the dragon screw leg whip. That's why they call him the dragon. He was great with it. Tanahashi would always do the one like on the ropes, which we see Starlight Kid do quite a bit. But she did it on the
Yeah. The
on the
turnbuckle.
on the turnbuckle where the steel beam is. And again, it's wrestling, you protect and whatnot, and the whole illusion. I don't know how you don't get at least a little bit of pain off that, but the commentating team did such a great job on this because Mizuki loves the double foot stomp. And it's
Hmm.
almost muscle memory. She keeps going for it. And they're like, don't do it, don't do it. And then
She's hurting herself.
she finally gets the advantage because she misses one about 2 minutes after that first dragon screw. And then you can see, like, oh, that was a bad mistake. And then she finally gets the advantage. Rika's on the outside. And then she does the Azumi style one on the outside all the way to the floor. And even the commentating, they did a great job building up the anticipation, the suspense. Like, don't do it. Don't
Yeah.
do it. Don't do it. And I think it was Kira Summer, whoever else was like, she kind of has to do it. This is her big move. If she doesn't do it, then it's going to be Rika then has her in the back pocket, knowing she can't do it. So where do you lie on that? Again, it's a championship match. It goes to show how important the belt is. That spot
Hmm.
alone gets the belt over because it's like, my knee be damned. I'll worry about my knee after the bell. So she hit, and again, the commentating team did a great job building up the suspense for that move. She does hit that double foot stomp on the outside. Great back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew who won because I know Mizuki's the champion going into the match with
Yeah.
Miyu Watanabe. Really great stuff. The whirling candy gets countered. We get a top rope cutie special, another cutie
Hmm.
special. Again, Rika was absolutely fantastic, but eventually it's a two cutie specials into the crossface, forcing Rika to tap. So now we know that Mizuki's great at the double foot stomp. She's got the whirling candy. She's got the cutie special. She does that insane double foot stomp where the person's laying in the corner. Now
Yeah.
we know that she has the crossface as a finisher as well. It's my favorite match of the show. I'm a massive fan of Rika now. 4.5 stars for me. This was great.
Wow. Yeah, I liked it, but not as much as you did. I gave it 4 stars even, but yeah, it was a really good match. We know Miyuki's really good, but yeah, Rika we haven't only seen like once or twice before, but she looked real good here. I thought it was smart that she's taking out the leg because that way, how's Miyuki gonna do enemy offense if she doesn't have a leg and she can't stand? She can't do a double stomp. Probably can't do the whirling candy. Probably can't do the cutie special, but she still does. There was a really nice part where Rika hit a Tower of London like Nigel McGuinness. I thought that looked really good. There's a hip attack stops Miyuki's whirling candy, so she had it scouted. That was really cool because she goes for it and she gets the hip attack. I was like, ooh, that looked really nice. There's some big slaps back and forth, a forearm battle while holding on to each other, which was nice, kind of like Okada and Kenny when they have wrist control and they're still hitting each other. So that was a cool thing. The low running hip attack by Rika, so that might be one of Rika's big moves again. Forgive us, we're just learning about Rika. The backbreaker and then a sleeper, the white dragon sleeper as they called it, and Mizuki gets to the ropes. The twist of fate by Rika. And I was like, oh, she does the twist of fate. So she has a lot of cool moves here. And then finally the cutie special. And then Mizuki locks on the, if she has a name for it, I don't know it, the Cobra Clutch like submission, the crossface, whatever you want to call it. And she taps out. So yeah, this match was really good. Oh, also Mizuki hit the twist of bliss, the fairy gift, as I like to call it in the Stardom world. Well, I might call it this for some other reasons. But anyway, she hit that. That was really cool. But yeah, this match was very good. 4 even. And a good main event to finish off this show that we've only watched half, but the half we watched was really good.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Massive fan of what we're seeing on Tokyo Joshi, bro. Andy Header. Most importantly, I need the
Hmm.
best gear and best hair for the Sendai Girls show. Then give me the best gear
Ooh.
and best hair from this show, and then give me an ultimate final winner, which is one of the
Ooh.
many perks of doing more than one show on Talk Joshi, because you
As
get
I
your big semi-finalists and your finalists, good sir.
Yes, as I get my no, here we go. I had to go because I wrote it at the end of the Sendai Girls show. So there was a lot of good hair. There was a lot of good gear on both shows. But for the Sendai Girl show, the best hair has to go to Mio Momono, who had the multicolors and the two braids on the side. Her hair looked really good. For the best gear, I had to give it to Yuna. Her new gear looked really good. The pink and the black, it looked very good. So that's your two Sendai Girls winner. Now over to Tokyo Joshi Pro. I was gonna give it to Hyper Misao because she had the ombre of white to pink hair that looked really good. But then the match that I skipped over, I seen Arisa Endo's rainbow hair that looked awesome, and I was like, I know that's really hard to do to dye your hair because it's not. Spoiler alert, or kayfabe, not natural hair color there, but it's very hard to do hair colors like that. So Arisa Endo gets best hair for the Tokyo Joshi Pro Show, and the best gear. I was up in their hair, but I was looking who had the best gear. I really like Maki Ito's gear. It's probably the same gear she wears all the time, but Maki Ito gets best gear. So if I have to pick between both, and I have to because someone has to win, I think the best gear award is gonna go to Yuna with her new gear. It looked really nice. So Yuna gets best gear overall and best hair overall. It's weird that I picked two that are kind of similar between Mio and Risando, but Risando's was really, really cool with the different colors. I believe she had two braids in it too. So Risando is your best hair winner overall, and Yuna is your best gear winner overall.
So, folks, if you're keeping track at home, even though Utami Hayashisa did lose the World of
Yeah,
Marigold Championship, she did win. Probably most importantly,
more coveted.
the best gear on
Yeah.
maybe the greatest new gear show of all time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that may be a roundtable discussion. What are the greatest gear shows of all time?
Yeah.
We're going to have to call it Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it's
Um,
right
and
over
then
there.
and then Yuna and then Yuna obviously did not advance in the Jaja Uma tournament, but not only did she advance in the Andy Header Best Gear Award, she did win the best gear between this show. And again, a massive show for Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Header, my good friend. Not just anything else you want to talk about. You ready to hit the spike brainbuster and call this one an episode, good sir?
Yeah, let's do it up. And we got a lot of great shows coming down the pike with Sendai Girls and Sariism and Tokyo Joshi Pro. So we have a lot of stuff to review. So right here, hey, I just want to say thanks to everyone that got a hold of us and that contacted us. Brohausen, Andy from Tokyo Joshi Pod, which I subscribe to. I mean, check it out. I mean, that's really cool. Any matches you want us to review or say, hey, check this show out, please send it our way. So thank you so much. And if you want to get a hold of me on Facebook or Instagram, I'm Andy Header at Blue Sky, I'm AH24, and at Twitter X, where a lot of the Joshi thing seems to be happening, I am at Get Some Header, pun intended.
Folks, questions, comments, suggestions, anything you need from me, Matt Turner OF on the Instagram and the Twitter is the easiest, fastest, and best way to get a hold of me. Or you can shoot me an email. The email address simply is thestardomcast22
22.
at gmail.com. And yes, follow our new page at TalkJoshi 2025 on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter. Both myself and Andy Header have access to that. And again, folks, this is on YouTube. If you want to put a comment, something in the comment section
Yeah.
of a match you would like us to review, because again, that's the beauty of this podcast. Because like I always say, it's just not my podcast. It's our podcast. Because when we're all together, everybody's different. Everybody's special.